know a lot of my friends that don't have work right now, including myself. Luckily enough, UTA is giving me a couple projects to keep that going for a little while. But it's the broadcast community and kind of the sports industry is no doubt hurting right now. It seems like you turn on the news and reports day in and day out, they're not favorable at all. So I think we're going to be in this for a while, and everybody's just going to have to batten down.
Yeah, I know I'm worried, a little bit at this point about I coach high school football up here, and we were supposed to start our summer stuff June 1st. And, I'm a little worried about that start date and if we're going to be able to start by then as the cases just seem to keep growing.
Yeah, and Dallas is not obviously like New York. New York is in a very bad way right now. So is California, but Dallas is turning into a bit of a hot spot as well. And the news just it's not good right now. Anytime you turn the news on and everything. So I'm hoping for the best, and it's so sad to see Will. But, I think once everything is able to get back to a state of normalcy, we're going to be really rejoicing. There's going to be a lot of changes, I think, but I think everyone's going to be really excited when that time comes. It could be a while.
Yeah, so are schools and things closed there in the Dallas area? High schools?
Yes, and everything's shut down. It is highly unlikely that anybody is going to go back to school. And in fact, UTA this morning announced that all Maymester and summer classes are going to be online only. So nobody's even going to be on campus till at the very minimum mid-August, and that almost right now looks to be optimistic. So everything's shut down. You can still go to the grocery store. Liquor stores are open, and other than that, that's
that's about it. Is there any Boulevard left on the shelves?
There probably is a little bit, but again, it's the debate. They're telling us to stay home. I think I've only been out to go somewhere other than perhaps work to pick up equipment at the grocery store once, and that's pretty much been it. They tell us do not go anywhere.
You played golf one day.
Now I will say I have played golf a few days. That is social distancing. We had you had to walk. They only allowed one person in the clubhouse at the time to go pay, and you had to obviously stand 6 feet away from each other. And then there was one course that you had to ride separate carts, and had to just stand as far away from each other as possible. So it's a weird time, but they've deemed golf courses as an essential business just because people are going to go stir crazy. Everybody's out in the parks right now running trails, and then now they're even threatening to shut those down just because there's so many people out doing that.
Yeah.
City of Fort Worth, City of Dallas have taken down rims. You can't go out and play pickup basketball anymore. I'm a big fan of pickup basketball. That hurts, and our guys that we work with, we kind of played 3 times a week. We can't do that now.
Well, behind the guys, Josh, is 4 basketball courts on the bottom level, and right above them there's 8. So normally those courts would be busy right now, and there's nobody out there. It's dark behind them.
Yeah, this is all
sad. It sucks.
Yeah, and I had to go pick up some equipment from our baseball and softball stadiums a couple days ago, and it's weird showing up, and you're the only one there, and you're like, man, there's nothing to do. You cannot do anything. The entire campus is shut down, and you're not supposed to be there anyway. And it's a weird time right now. It's something we've never seen before, but hopefully we can get through it at some point.
Yeah, and I'm sure in Texas the high schools are probably missing their spring football right now. We don't have that up here in Kansas or Missouri, but I'm sure some of those schools are missing that. And NCAA, no recruiting visits. None of that can be going on right now, so it's unprecedented times.
Yeah, the dead period's been extended for recruiting, and the list continues to grow. Obviously there's canceled women, and then there's threats of the British Open, or the Open as they call it now, and it's just the list is just going to continue to grow, unfortunately. But it's just a very, very weird time. And while it is fun to watch the old games that all the news stations are playing and sports stations, it almost makes it worse to me, just because can we just get started again?
I got an idea. This is the most brilliant idea I've ever heard of, and I came up with it.
What?
You guys are going to just love this. They should have came out with the 64 or whatever. Was it 68 teams or how many it ever is now? I can't remember since they've added those others. They should have came out with the bracket and then had the coaches play video, have some kind of video guy develop. Okay, this is KU, this is Kentucky, this is Florida. Have the coaches play out the Final Four against each other playing video games and do it.
Well, they didn't
do it the same way. I mean, Thursday,
they can't
Friday
because of the likeness deal with the NCAA.
You know what, Gary? Take it easy. This, he ran on his parade.
That was a great idea. Wouldn't that be fun?
No, I like
the
it.
coaches?
Oh, it'd be fun.
I mean, you know what's going on now with the DraftKings. The DraftKings is all sim stuff now.
They did? Somebody already did, Josh?
Somebody kind of already has. These guys are from St. Bonaventure, and they took all the rosters and likeness and transferred it into the 2K game, and they ended up simulating the Atlantic 10 tournament. Well, all of a sudden that gained enough interest where they did an entire tournament. And I'm trying to search it up. I believe it's March Madness 2K on the Twitter. Well, you could log on to one of their streaming services, and they were showing you the games, and they had actually their guys announcing the games. They kept the same schedule. You had 4 games going on at once. But they did the entire 68-team field. I haven't watched it. All I remember is I know number 13 North Texas took down number 4 Kentucky.
Nice. So like DraftKings and stuff you can bet on. It's all like simulated. You can bet on simulated sports now.
Yeah, and so that was just fun to keep up with, just because it's something different. It's something out there, because you need the content and whatnot. But yeah, they didn't have the coaches playing it. I wonder how many coaches actually play 2K. That'd be an interesting question.
Well, here's the thing: it would teach coaches
card sharks.
Here's the thing: it would teach coaches. It's really because they would be trying to control their players with their remotes, right? They would learn. In real life, it's hard to control what you want them to do on the court. Well, now they're learning it's hard to do with a video controller too, right?
Yeah, if whoever sets the betting lines, I'll take the under in every single game. No doubt that's going to be the case.
I don't know. I think Bill Self's pretty good.
Yeah, but it's crazy. I've seen that. I have not bet on any of the games, but I've seen that where you can, like Bovada, stuff like that, you can bet on. They're running like an NFL season, and you can bet on simulated games. And they're using Madden. They're using Madden to simulate an NFL season. It's crazy. They set lines and everything. I'm like, I haven't done it yet. I'm a big time. I say big. I'm not a big time gambler, but I like to gamble on like every single game. If it's like $1, like I don't care. But like it's crazy how that's kind of taken up a little bit. Have you bet on anything yet? Or anything
I
like
haven't.
That?
No.
Yeah, I mean, I was gung ho.
I'm not going to bet on a simulation.
I would totally bet on a simulation.
The under.
I would totally bet on the simulation.
Take the under.
It's just a computer, so it's just the computer running a simulation of a game. Bovada has it now where you can bet on the weather. I saw that. You can bet on the weather.
Wow.
It's crazy. I'm like. I told my wife the other day, I said, I'm tempted to take the over-under is 50 degrees. I'm about to take this over.
It's kind of like Jamaica. You can go to Jamaica and bet on centipede races and stuff like that. I mean,
I'm down. Let's go.
What else can you do in Jamaica, I wonder?
Anything. No, I don't know. All right.
So, Josh, you also do the PA for the Red River Shootout Red River rivalry game. There at the historic Cotton Bowl.
Boomer Sooner, Boomer Sooner.
OU Texas rivalry game. How was that experience, and how crazy is that game every year?
Yeah, I've done it 2 of the last 3 years. We have a professor at UT Arlington went to Texas, and she knows the communication staff well at Texas, and it's I don't get paid, but it's something different. PA is totally different from radio, and being in that environment. It's not the outdoor PA. It's not what you hear as a fan, but it's for the all the media in there. And so the first time I did it three years ago, I had never done it, and we're going to see what happens here, and had a lot of fun doing it. And then they asked me back for the whenever Texas hosts. It's their staff that puts it all together, and hey, you want to do it again? And I'm like, I can't believe you're asking me, because I thought I was a terrible person. But hey, thanks for asking me. And So we did it again, and games are. But when you have that job, you've got 2 or 3 guys next to you that kind of name out what is happening in the play, and you've got to be on your toes. And it's hard. You're into the game, you're watching every play, but it's hard to keep up with the trends just because there is downtime. But in the downtime, you're announcing, pass to the right side from Mayfield, complete for 10 yards. It'll be 1st and 10, Oklahoma, and you're having to keep up with so much in that sequence, and you're trying not to talk too much, but then you don't want to talk too less, and then you're thinking like, well, who's actually really listening to me right now? So it's kind of weird, but it's fun. I enjoy it. It's a different experience. Gets you to the fair. It's a packed house. It's one of the funner games in football all season long. It's just it's something unique, and while PA is, I've got to work on the PA just a little bit. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, has there been any conversation about that game being moved to AT&T Stadium, or are they pretty much set at the Cotton Bowl?
They're set at the Cotton Bowl. Whenever the AT&T was built, there was a lot of rumors because they weren't sure. They didn't have the agreement had run out, and I remember one time that they had put together plans to move it to AT&T Stadium. There was a lot of backlash. Everybody was keeping the Cotton Bowl. I think it
from me too. Yeah, no, that's history there.
I do like that game. I like it being at a Cotton Bowl. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, the stadium, it's an awful stadium. I'm not going to lie to you, but just because it's so old, there's a lot of history into it. I'm not saying it's falling apart, but it is a very, very old stadium. Whenever they were talking about moving it, old Eddie Gossage at Texas Motor Speedway, he went and painted a field on their infield, and he's like, "Hey, if y'all can't figure it out, look at this." And I remember there was some helicopter shots, and they were like, "Man, well, can we really have it at a NASCAR stadium or arena or whatever you want to?" And then, sure enough, several years later down the road, Virginia Tech and I think it was Tennessee, had it at Bristol. But no, they're going to keep it at the Cotton Bowl, and it's going to be there, and that's where it should be. That's its rightful home.
Well, and it's part of the state fair. I mean, there's just so much. It's an event weekend. It's not just a football game, right?
Yeah, it is, because one, you're into the fair, and while it's probably the worst day to go to the fair, you're still at the fair, and there's so much going on, and I'm sure the city of Arlington, they'd love to have that game, but I think it belongs to the Cotton Bowl. Now, the actual Cotton Bowl in December, the bowl games, that is obviously at AT&T Stadium. I think that's where that game should be, just because you can do a lot with that, and obviously it's played host to a national championship already, and then you never really quite know what the weather's going to be like in December. It's probably going to be nice, but you'll get one or two of those days where it's not going to be nice. But I think in September, October, whenever the Cotton Bowl is, Red River Rivalry, that's its rightful home. That's where it should be.
Yeah, I hear that. I mean, 99% of the time, I would say if you could put on a game at AT&T, like, you go ahead and do it. I mean, honestly, it's the best stadium. I mean, it's the best football stadium. Right, it's the best football stadium in the U.S. Right now, state of the art, everything. But just there's a small 1% of games that should be played like that game should be played in the Cotton Bowl, stuff like that. But like 99% of the time, AT&T is freaking nice. I mean, you got to put the game there. So, what is Oklahoma's been running that rivalry right now, right?
Yeah,
through the last few years. What's the streak right now? Is it like 4, 5, 6?
Enough to where the horns down symbol.
Horns down. Who started horns down? Was that Baker?
I don't know, but
probably trash talking Baker, right?
I think. I'm not sure.
I thought it was a little too much, making it a penalty.
Oh, that was too. Yeah, that's too much for me.
Texas won in 2018.
Okay.
So
they beat.
Oklahoma's won the last. Oklahoma's won the last 2, but one of them was the Big 12 championship.
Gotcha. Yeah. So that's right. They beat that's Kyler Murray, right? They beat Kyler Murray.
I think so. Yeah.
How was it? You worked camera crew on the national championship game, didn't you?
I did, and that was that.
What was that experience like?
An insane few days that you'll ever have, just because there's so much going into it. And that was the Oregon-Ohio State game. Zeke was on that team. And that was the first year of the college football playoff, and it was absolutely tremendous. There was so much stuff going on outside the stadium. I mean, it was basically a Super Bowl. I did not get to work the Super Bowl when it was here. That was a little bit before my time. But I think that's as close as you can get to a Super Bowl without having a Super Bowl, just because, Fort Worth and Dallas, they were such big players in it. And then AT&T Stadium, it played host, and it was just there was so much camaraderie. There was just so much going on. And then it was a pretty good game. Ohio State, pulled away with the win. But and that was, who would have thought it was Zeke? Zeke, I think, had a great